What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the video. Today we're going to be starting on the rear differential, rear subframe for the all-wheel drive for the CRX. So what I have here is the S1, part of the the DIY version 1 that I got. It's the rear subframe with the mounting and everything for the rear differential, and it also has these to move the rear shocks just a little bit to clear the CV axle. What I'm gonna go ahead and do is get back there. So I'm gonna have to move these jack stands real quick because they're right in my way. And then I'm also gonna have to finish pulling out this lower control arm. It's pretty stuck in. I don't think it's ever come out of the car. This bolt doesn't want to come out. That bolt had to get cut. So I'm gonna finish getting that out. So let me get all that moved and let's get started. Alright guys, so I got my lower control arms out, and this is what I mean by they were stuck in there. This one had to be completely cut out. This one, at least 2 came out, and the last one had to be cut. I don't think they've ever been removed from the vehicle. And I remember doing one of the, I think this one actually came out a long time ago when I put my suspension on this car. New lower control arms, I don't know if I'm gonna go with like OEM or maybe just some like aftermarket ones. But now that that's done and that's out of the way, I went ahead and took the sway bar out of the car too. Now I'm gonna try to get this mounted up and see how these go in. And I know these need to be welded to the ends right here on these once you get it all mocked up. So let's go ahead and do that. All right guys, so you notice I tried to put the subframe in. I totally forgot you actually have to remove your fuel tank for all the all-wheel drive stuff to actually fit. So I went ahead and pulled the fuel tank out. I'll have to figure out something for fuel, probably a fuel cell here, or there's a company that actually makes like a half size and it goes back in the stock spot and uses actually the stock filler, and I might go for that. And now since I have the fuel tank out, I can go ahead and notch right there, which allows room for the mount for the rear diff that's on the S1 rear subframe. It allows clearance for this right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that out, and I think I have some plates that kind of weld in there and reinforce it, so I'm gonna go ahead and get on that. Alright guys, so went ahead and got all the underbody cleaned off. This is the part that's gonna get notched out essentially, and then there's these pieces right here. There's these pieces right here that will fill the areas that are cut out and give a nice little window right here for that that subframe to sit and give clearance for the diff mount. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some measurements made and then start cutting. Alright guys, so I went ahead and got that all cut out. Then I have these pieces over here that are, those are meant to kind of plate that off and fill that in. But I'm kind of excited to go ahead and get the subframe piece in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that in there. Make sure there's enough clearance before I go off and start welding all these in real quick. So I'm gonna get the rear subframe in, make sure it all clears. Get these side pieces for that subframe in. I'm gonna have to tack those on and then take them to the bench and weld them. So let's get it in. All right guys, so went ahead and got these side pieces attached, or they're bolted up to the chassis. They just need to get welded right here. See, that one's bolted up. Need to weld them right there. So I'm gonna have to drag my welder out, get those tacked, then get this thing off, and then get it back onto the bench. Oh, if you're doing this kit yourself, right up here, there's normally an exhaust hanger right here that you have to cut it off to get this arm right here to fit. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and go clean up that area, fold down my table so I can drag my welder out, just so I can get these tacked. Then we'll get it off the car, on the bench, and then get it welded. Just as a little side note, if you're working in a really small space, like I am, making stuff collapsible and fit your work area is freaking great. Just welding a little welding table to some risers, that way you can move the table out of the way when you don't need it. Anyway, got the welder kind of in position. Gonna crawl underneath there and get the thing tacked up and then get it out on the bench. Alright guys, got the welder all fired up. And we're ready to tack this thing on. Alright guys, so went ahead and got these welded on. I was trying to TIG it, but my TIG has been acting up, so I need to take that apart, go through it, see if it's clogged. It's acting like it's not getting any gas coverage, but I can feel gas coming through, so I figured that out. Went ahead and MIG'd it with some stainless. It did okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and bolt this back in the car and then get ready to put the diff on it so we can mount this part next. Alright guys, so I got the rear diff bolted back up into the car. Got the welder back over here because we're going to have to do some welding when it comes to this guy. This guy right here that bolts on top of the diff. So here's my diff. It's a diff out of an element, so I'm going to have to get those locking plates that go in here that S1 came out with. So I don't have to pin the stack. I can actually just put their plates in it to make this solid, and that'll work for now. We'll see how strong that is. I know the wagon diff is stronger, supposedly. That's what I've been hearing. But I'm gonna put the plates in this one and run this one for now. And if we need to, we'll change diffs. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this top bracket off, this rear bracket off, so we can get it in the car and get this front mounting position right here in the car. All right guys, so got the diff in. Next is this front support bar. I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'm gonna get it tacked onto this mount right here and then figure out these two, can't see it over there, these two end pieces. You're supposed to weld them on. They have bolt holes. I don't have the correct filler or MIG wire to MIG stainless to mild. So I think I'm just gonna bolt them in first and then get the wire I need, and then I'll go ahead and weld those in, but this will get me by for now. So I'll go ahead and get that all tacked up so I can get these end pieces on, and then the diff will be secured where it needs to be. Alright guys, so I completely forgot you actually have to either like take a hammer to right here to clearance for this, or you cut this open, and S1 provides this little cover that you, once you get this all cut out and weld in, it gives you a lot more access just around the diff if you need to ever drop it or anything like that. I went ahead and cut this open. It needs cut more for this piece right here, but I'm gonna probably end up welding this in last, just because if I need to take the diff down or anything, it's just super easy for me to access right here. Also went ahead and got that bar welded on. Like I said, my TIG is still messing up, so I just went ahead and used the stainless MIG on that. All right, and then as for these right here, on either side, there's that one just dangling, and then this side I have off. I said I was gonna kind of bolt them in for now, but that means I have to run like a couple of nut inserts, and that's not really structural. I went ahead and ordered some 309 MIG so I can weld the stainless to the mild steel chassis. But other than that, the diff is pretty much mounted in. I need to get my new trailing arms so I can actually tighten all these down, and then we can actually call the diff good. Then I can actually put my trailing arms back in, and then the whole rear section is pretty much done, and then we can move on to like the fuel cell. So I'm probably gonna leave it right there. I kind of wanted to get them more finished, but I also didn't just want to bolt those in with nut certs. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and when that wire gets here, I'll go ahead and just burn those in real quick, and then the subframe part will be done. Still waiting on the clutch. It's been like 3-4 weeks now. I'm considering maybe just canceling that order and get it from someone else, but it seems like everything is kind of like that right now. It kind of takes time. That is gonna do for this video. Not sure how long it is, probably a pretty short video, as the rest of mine kind of are. I work when I have the ability to. I work nights, and I kind of just want to keep this going. So thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. If you did subscribe, I do appreciate it. If you haven't and you want to, go ahead. And yeah, see you guys next time.